Information shared on the following program is for general information purposes only. It does not constitute legal, tax, investment, or other advice, nor is it intended to recommend any particular investments, products, or financial instruments. Always seek advice from your financial advisor, attorney, or accountant with regard to investment, legal, or tax questions.
Welcome to the only show in the country dedicated to helping savers worry less about money, the Worry-Free Retirement, with your host, Tony Walker.
If you got it, you don't need it. If you need it, you don't got it. You don't get it, shame on you. Funny, funny, funny what money can do. Them that have it, get more of it. The less they need it, the more they love it. And it sticks to them like glue. Funny, funny, funny what money can do.
Now in my 35th year in this industry, I never get used to saying this, but my, how time flies. Here we are at the end of the year, and it's just a great reminder to take a look back at the progress we've made, both at Tony Walker Financial and, quite frankly, the clients out there that we've had the privilege of helping, and just kind of take stock today of our inventory, what we've done, what we've provided, and what just has actually transpired through 2019. Recently, we met as a staff. We always do that once a year and tried to just take a look at 2019. Then we looked at what we want to happen in the coming year, which is 2020, hard to believe. But again, it just reminded us, hey, let's take some time, let the audience know what we're doing, let them know about our services, our staff, and then, of course, how much we appreciate them and their confidence in us at Tony Walker Financial. Well, welcome, folks, to the Worry-Free Retirement, and this is the last episode of 2019. And yes, I am that little man in the sweater vest, 401k rollover specialist and fiduciary Tony Walker. And with us in our Louisville studios today as we record this show on November 26, 2019, America's favorite financial sidekick, Mr. Aaron Orander. How you doing, Aaron?
Good morning, sir. I'm doing well. How about yourself?
Good, good. And along with your favorite sidekick over there working hard at the helm preparing for the TV show, Miss Megan
right.
Murphy. Megan's doing fine. She still doesn't have a mic yet, though, does she?
No, she doesn't want one. She's over here shaking her head. She doesn't want one.
Yeah. And we were just talking about how time flies. You've been with me now 6.5 years helping produce the TV and radio show, and I don't want to see any more yawning over there. I understand you had kind of a rough night last night.
I had a rough night last night. Lily that's our youngest, she just would not go to sleep. So Jess had to put her in the car seat. Well, I put her in the car seat, half asleep myself. And Jess took her for just kind of a little midnight drive. Just, they say sometimes do that with babies. Yeah. Just get them in the car and just drive around and hopefully they'll fall asleep. So
our daughter Lacey, when she was younger, she used to every once in a while get colicky. Have you ever had your, And I mean, she couldn't breathe, and we would drive around the car with the windows down trying to get some fresh air, and a couple times we'd just have to head on over to the emergency room. You'd think the child was going to die. But, well, hopefully, folks, we won't put you to sleep today with this show. I think this show is going to be really good because I know there's a lot of you out there, you tell me, that you listen to the radio show. Some of you have become clients, which we appreciate. Some of you have come by the office and set up an appointment to kick the tires. You're always welcome to do that. Again, just please set up an appointment to do so. They're in Bowling Green. If you're listening to the show in Lexington on LAP or Bardstown, of course, we have offices in Louisville and Lexington. We're happy to meet with you and talk. And we're going to start off, though, since this is kind of a year-in-review show, with a book, and I know it's a pretty popular book. I've asked you to read it, Aaron, and all the staff, called The 7 Habits of Highly Effective People, Stephen Covey's book. You've seen
That's
that.
right.
It is really good. But I want to focus on one of his, I call it attributes, and it's called Sharpen the Saw. Do you remember that chapter?
Not yet. I haven't gotten to that point.
Oh, you have? Okay. It's pretty cool. Well, the point is, what Covey's point is, and actually it's very biblical. Even Abe Lincoln used to talk about that. I think Abe Lincoln used to say, if you're going to chop down a tree and you've got 6 hours to do it, spend 4 hours sharpening the axe and 2 hours actually cutting at the tree, which made sense. The point was, you're going to use a dull axe. It ain't going very far. Well, Covey talks about sharpening the saw, and really that's what we try to do at Tony Walker Financial. I've been in this business 35 years. We are growing and growing and growing, but we never stop to just say, wait a minute, we need to sharpen our saw and make sure we're primed to help these savers out there worry less about money. And again, today what we're going to do is go through that. So Covey, in his book, is trying to communicate this idea of continual improvement or progress. You know, we just came out of those radio shows, Monitor Your Progress, and the whole idea of that is to make sure that we are, as your fiduciary, or if you employ us as your retirement planning specialist, make sure that we're doing everything possible to continue to improve our services so that you can be worry-free as you move forward and work with us. Because as I always say, retirement, folks, it's not a one-shot deal. I mean, there's a lot of people out there. We've talked about this after your money, tons and tons of them. I can't believe how many people now are out there holding themselves out retirement advisors and have really very little experience. Pretty scary stuff. I had someone yesterday, Aaron. I think I had about 20 appointments up here yesterday in Louisville, and we were talking about that, and someone had been to a dinner seminar 3 years ago. He had all of these annuities, and he's coming to me now, this happens all the time, wanting help with how to take money out and when. And I looked at him and I said, sir, I don't mind giving you some advice, but you bought all these annuities from all these people years ago. Are they not here to help you? And he said, well, they really don't understand the taxes. They don't want to get into all that. That's not what they did. They pretty much just said, we just kind of sold you the annuities. That's what you got. So we're going to go over exactly what's happened in 2019, some of the things we've tried to accomplish and help clients. And then I'm also, at the end of the show, this is going to be pretty cool, Aaron, we're going to talk about the most frequent questions and or concerns of our clients in 2019. Good stuff coming up. You're listening to the Worry-Free Retirement. I'm Tony Walker. I'll be right back. Who can you trust? It's one of the most important decisions you'll have to make. Question is, are you ready? Well, we're here to help at Tony Walker Financial. We care more about you than we do your money, and we have over 2,000 happy clients and an A+ rating with the Better Business Bureau to prove it. Rolling over a 401k, confused about Social Security, maybe you're afraid of running out of money. Learn how to use and enjoy and protect your hard-earned money. Log on now to TonyWalkerFinancial.com and let's get started. Welcome back to the Worry-Free Retirement. I am Tony Walker, and a review of 2019. So for the remainder of the show, I'd like to just take a few minutes, if you don't mind, to indulge ourselves, I guess, Aaron. We're very proud of our success. Of course, we can't do it without clients that trust us. So first of all, thank you to all of you who have done business with us in 2019. We do truly appreciate your business. And again, I like to say it's a privilege to work with you, and I will always commit to do my best to make sure you're happy and as worry-free as we can help. But let me kind of go over just a few rundowns of things. This is the office. I asked the staff to just get different things together that might impress upon you how hard we do work to take care of our clients and prospective clients. All right, personally this year, have you seen these statistics, Aaron?
I've seen some of them, not all of them.
Okay, well, I meant to quiz you on, but anyway, I'll just read them off. Personally, now this is yours truly, has met with, and I'm talking new prospective clients. I'm not talking about existing clients or second appointments. We have a lot of those. But this year alone, new people I've met with to discuss their situation in person, 337 people. That's quite a few people, isn't it?
It's a lot.
Under my direction, we have also created for those folks, not everybody needs a retirement game plan, but we have created for just those folks 266 personalized, let me repeat that, not illustrations, not a bunch of stuff scribbled on a napkin, personalized game plans which cost them nothing. Nothing, okay? Personally, I've written so far in 2019, right at almost 300, we will say 294 exactly as of this date, 294 annuity contracts. These are new, totaling right at almost at $40 million. And yes, folks, that is a lot of mailbox money. Let's see, Charles Schwab, this is interesting. Of course, Charles Schwab is our platform for investments. So if you want, it's kind of similar to your 401k. We handle it, we manage it, we pick them, everything's, the custodian is Charles Schwab. These would be mutual funds, ETFs, stocks, bonds, etc. So we started this program in April of 2017. It grew this past year over 43%. It was in the 50 million range start of the year. Now it's up to about $83 million under management. At the start of the year, we had around 871 individual accounts. And now, as of year to date, that's grown by over 30% to 1,133 accounts. That's a lot of accounts, isn't it? You're talking about hard workers. I mean, we've got some people in the Bowling Green office. That's where all the processing does. Shannon oversees the administration of those Schwab accounts. And I mean, she is cranking it out, folks. She is just doing a great job. Of course, Heather in the Bowling Green office helps oversee those accounts and the administration. We're real proud of that. The TV show, oh my gosh. I look around here now, Aaron, the new set.
We've come quite a ways, haven't we?
Yeah, if you get a chance, I guess they could go to our YouTube channel. Do we have some of the old TV shows?
Yeah, you can go back and look at old shows.
We call that the closet studio, remember?
Yeah.
When we used to have to slide the desk and the easel around. I don't know how we maneuvered in there.
Gosh.
You made it work. It looks great. Don't get me wrong, but compared to this. So yeah, we've spent a lot of money on our production facility here in Louisville. Why did we do that? Because we want to make the production of the TV show even better. So folks, if you haven't seen the TV show, log on to TonyWalkerFinancial.com. There's a whole listing of shows. They're on in 7 different stations. We'll probably be adding 1 or 2 more stations in 2020. All the state-of-the-art equipment we have. Of course, we've added Megan to the realm, so now we have our production company with you, Aaron, and Megan, and then my favorite son-in-law, Trey, and Gina help. So we really have worked hard to get this production really good and clean and tight for educational purposes, and also so you can find out more about us in case you want to work with Tony Walker Financial. Let's see what else. Oh, the educational opportunities. This is cool. Our website, we spent a ton of money at TonyWalkerFinancial.com to improve that site. We've got a new blog page, more videos on there. You could go to our YouTube channel at Tony Walker Financial. Just go to youtube.com. All of our past episodes, Aaron puts all of those on there. Back at TonyWalkerFinancial.com, we've got a place where you can click on podcasts and listen to prior episodes of the Worry-Free Retirement. We're hosting webinars. We got a new webinar coming up pretty soon. We do webinars every 2 or 3 weeks. Those are on the site if you want to check out the next webinar. So just a lot of educational opportunities. We mentioned Lexington. We got a new office in Lexington. Now that is not manned full time. I just work over there on appointment only, but we're gradually growing that area, and that's my old stomping ground. Many people, Aaron, even in Bowling Green, I moved to Bowling Green in '75. They look at me funny and they go, "I never knew you were from Lexington." I mean, that's where I grew up. My mom still lives there, and it's kind of neat I guess I'm approaching the second half, but it's kind of neat to head back over there and start helping people. We're gradually making some inroads, and I know people that we have worked with are impressed with the Worry-Free Retirement Income software, and I had one lady who decided to go on and retire. She said, "Tony, I've never seen anything like this. This is awesome." So we've worked hard to create software that's easy to understand and communicate to your family. So we've got that for us that's free of charge if you want to take a look at our income software. Last but not least, the staff. We've added Shanna, not to be confused with Shannon. Did I tell that story? We asked Shanna if she would mind changing her name.
No,
Oh, yeah.
I didn't hear about that. I guess there's a reason I didn't hear about that.
Yeah, that didn't go over well. So we had Shannon already in the office. We wanted to hire Shanna.
Yeah.
And just a great hire. She's done a great job. But we said, Shanna, what's your full name? I can't remember what her middle name was, whatever it was, Lori or something. I apologize, I can't remember. But she said, what is it? I said, do you ever go by Lori? She goes, what do you mean? I said, well, just Lori. Did your mom? Well, no, that's just kind of said, well, I kind of had Connie ask her, I'm getting embarrassed at this point to even bring this up. Since we got a Shannon, would you mind going by Lori? And Connie's saying, yeah, trying to make it all good. Well, Shannon did a great job of acting like that was fine. Well, then Connie calls me in the office about 2 hours later and goes, Tony, that went over like a lead balloon. She ain't going by Lori. It's going to be Shanna. So we do have a Shannon and a Shanna. Also new to the, I call her JJ, Jennifer Jaggers is now with us. Ben, she's doing a great job. Jennifer does all of our annuity administration. So if you have a change of beneficiary, you need to update something, you want to elect mailbox money, we do all of that for you. You never have to call the company, and I think that's a great, great service, especially these annuities do require servicing, folks. And then we've hired Leanne Powell. I've known Leanne for years. She's helped me with my books at Tony Walker Financial, and we've really brought her on full time. She has a tax background, and she is helping us with all of our calculations of our required minimum distributions, researching tax issues, 72T calculations, all that. But Aaron, this is a funny story. I was talking to Leanne, and I said, Leanne, you've been in tax preparation all your life. She's worked with accountants, and she's very, very smart. And I said, what have you learned since you've been at Tony Walker Financial in terms of tax planning for retirement? She said, Tony, I've learned I don't know that much. So this is our point, folks. We're not getting on accountants or CPAs, and I don't want to speak for all of them. But in general, most accountants are what I call historians. They are trying to help you deal with taxes now and then look back over the prior year before April 15th or whatever to do some tax planning. That's not what we do. We're not trying to take the place of your accountant. What we are is tax planning specialists. We are trying to deal with what I call the infamous tax tumor that's buried in all these darn accounts you've got out there that you haven't dealt with. So again, that's what we do, and that's why we hired Leanne, because we're getting busier and busier providing, by the way, it's absolutely free, our tax planning advice, providing free advice. Now, before we take a quick break and come back with some of the top questions and issues from you, our listeners, this is really cool. This is our new newsletter. It's the Fall 2019 newsletter. Our own Megan Murphy, who does all of our graphics layout, just did a bang-up job on this. You've seen this, haven't you?
Yeah,
it's pretty awesome,
great.
isn't it?
Looks great.
Yeah. I'm kind of glancing through here. I won't cover a lot, but let me just say this. If you'd like a copy of the newsletter, it's filled with information on what we're doing, what's going on. I'm just glancing at this. Some of the new offerings, for instance, we now do estate planning. We can offer Medicare supplements, final expense issues, in addition to all the other things we do. So pretty much our goal is to be a one-stop shop for all of your retirement planning needs. If you're approaching retirement or already retired, we have set it up so we can basically handle just about anything. I know, this is interesting. We put a section in on referrals. Some of you are very, very apt, current clients or even prospective clients here, and we have people that will refer people to us. And somebody comes in, I'll say, well, hey, how you doing? Nice to see you. And they'll say, yeah, so-and-so recommended we see you. And I'll think, I don't know if I recognize that name. We'll look them up in our system. They're not clients. So people, though, have either met with us in the past, maybe attended a workshop, listened to a show. So even if you're not clients out there and you're impressed with what we're doing, and maybe you've got a friend or relative or coworker that's getting ready to retire, and they don't know who to talk to, by all means, we certainly appreciate you mentioning our name and just tell them, say, hey, check this guy out. Just go to TonyWalkerFinancial.com. Just ask them to click on the Let's Get Started, and we will follow up and take care of it from there. There's, again, no cost or obligation. We're not going to embarrass you by following up with them and pressuring them. I'm not going to send Aaron over to their doorstep at 10 p.m. on a Thursday night. Yeah, it's me, Aaron. But so we're happy to follow up with any referrals, and absolutely we appreciate your referrals. All right, when we come back, I've got a total, I hope I can cover it in the essence of time. Let me see here. 1, 2, 3, 6. We picked 6. I'll try to blow through these, but they're all important. What are the 6 top items or discussion points or questions that you had for us in 2019? I'm Tony Walker. I'll be back to answer those right after this.
Worried about running out of money in retirement? For a limited time, 5-time author and retirement specialist Tony Walker is making available his latest book, Mailbox Money for Life. For your free copy, simply log on to TonyWalkerFinancial.com.
Have you recently retired, been laid off, or offered a pension buyout? Has the company you work for moved, been acquired, or closed its doors forever? And finally, do you have a 401k with a previous employer you'd like to move to safer territory? Then take advantage of this opportunity to move your 401k or lump sum pension to Tony Walker Financial. Let's meet in person to discuss your retirement options. Log on now to TonyWalkerFinancial.com to schedule your free, no obligation appointment. Let us help you today. Welcome back to the Worry-Free Retirement. We're proceeding with our year in review, 2019. If you're just now joining us, I am Tony Walker, Retirement Planning Specialist with offices in Louisville, Lexington, and Bowling Green. All right, the first main one. This is the big one. I'm just going to come right out and ask it. Most people don't know what the heck, that's what they'll say. What the heck does RMD mean? What is RMD? All right, RMD literally stands for Required Minimum Distribution. So you got to remember with RMD, it only involves what we call qualified accounts, IRAs, 401ks, 403B plans, 457 plans, maybe you rolled over a pension into an IRA. So anything that falls into that qualified category is tax deferred. So the government, knowing they want their tax revenue, I call that the tax tumor. You're not going to get that. All that money's not yours. I had somebody the other day come in there and he goes, I tell you what, I'm kind of embarrassed. I've been very conservative with my money, and all my buddies are talking about how much money they've made from being in the stock market. I said, what do you mean they've made money? Give me an example. He said, well, a buddy of mine said he made $40,000 this year. And I said, no, you're not listening. What did he mean by made? And he goes, well, that's how much his account grew to. And I said, well, did he take the money out of the market, or is it still sitting in the market? And he says, well, I guess it's still in the market. I said, well, he hadn't made anything. Folks, just because your portfolios are up doesn't mean you've made anything. Money is not worth anything until it's converted to cash and used. So the government, that money you have in there, not only is it subject to risk, but it's subject to a tax tumor. So if you've got a 401k that says $200,000, not all of that money is yours, and it's 70.5. The government is going to make you start taking money out of that account. That's called the required minimum distribution. Why do they do that? Because they want their taxes. So when you pull the money out, every bit of that money you pull out is subject to taxes. And again, we can help you deal with that tax tumor. So that's the first thing. People are always asking about RMD. Number two, should I invest in a Roth or should I invest in a regular IRA? And kind of tied to that, should I convert an IRA to a Roth? So let's go over this. So a Roth IRA is what we call after-tax money. The government is saying you can put money in there up to certain limits, but you cannot take a tax deduction. It's not going to help you on taxes now, but what it will do is as that money grows, let's say you've put in $50,000 over your lifetime into a Roth 401k or IRA, and now it's grown to $200,000 and you're ready to retire. Unlike the regular traditional IRA that has a tax tumor, the Roth IRA does not. So if you wanted to liquidate that entire $200,000, you could take it out entirely without taxes. Now, what's a Roth conversion? Well, it's kind of a strange name. It's not really a Roth conversion. It's really an IRA conversion. You're converting a qualified IRA to a Roth. Now, this is a huge deal, and we've been talking about this for years. The problem is most people, here's what I found, most people are not great candidates for a Roth conversion. Number one, you have to have plenty of money in after-tax accounts to pay the tax. So let's say you have a $100,000 IRA and you want to convert it to a Roth so that in the future it'll be tax-free. You're wanting to pay the taxes now, but you can do this. Well, that $100,000 has to go in your tax return. So let's say you're in a 20% bracket, you're going to have to cough up $20,000 immediately. Well, if you don't have $20,000 in the bank or somewhere else that's already been after tax, that's a problem. So we can help you think through, this is a job that Leanne and Heather handle for us, whether you should be doing a Roth or a traditional IRA, and whether you should take a traditional IRA and convert it to a Roth. So we're not saying not to do it, we're just saying don't rush in and do it. That's the key. Lump sum pension, boy, this came up a lot. Why in the world do you think, Aaron, all these companies are offering what's called buyouts or early offers to buy your lump sum pension and give you the money now? You know this is happening a lot. Have you heard this from our Tony Walker Financial?
I'm going to guess probably so that those people will go ahead and retire and they can maybe get some younger people in there that they don't have to pay as much. Maybe.
Well, think about this. And I guess you've heard about the pension system and the teachers, how that's having problems. Okay. So the problem with, it doesn't matter, was it the teachers, GE, UPS, these companies have all this money that they have to keep stockpiled for people who want to take pension installments. And what they're doing is they want to get out of it. They don't want this obligation. So they're willing to give you money now to buy out of that pension so you take the choice away from them and they don't have to mess with it. So the question is, do you leave the money with your people managing the pension and take it as what we call installment or mailbox money, or do you take that lump sum pension? And we have been inundated with this because more and more companies are wanting to get out of those pensions and thus offer you a buyout. So folks, we understand this. Be careful. Most advisors will immediately tell you to roll it out to lump sum. And in most cases, that's usually the best thing. But there's a lot of cases that we run into where that may not be the best thing. So if you've got a pension and you're looking at rolling it out, whether the company's buying you out or you're getting ready to retire and you have a pension decision to make, please contact us at TonyWalkerFinancial.com. Let us help you make the right decision on whether to take a lump sum or to simply let it remain as what we call an installment. Number 4, boy, these are, years and years ago, Aaron, I used to do dinner seminars. And one reason I quit doing those? I just felt like, wait a minute, if I got to buy somebody a $50 steak dinner and they're not willing to come in to see me after providing all this education, maybe it's not worth it for either of us. So I quit doing them. In fact, we don't do many workshops anymore. We mainly just try to communicate with people through the TV and radio show, through email blast, and we stay very busy, and we're thankful for that. But these actually have gotten more popular over the years. I was wrong about these things. I thought they would kind of die off. We used to have regulators that didn't like dinner seminars. In fact, they were known to sometimes sit in the back of the room and make sure people were saying the right things and not, touting things too much. But so they've gotten more popular. So here's all I would say about a dinner seminar, folks. Please, I know that they're nice people. I know that these are nice steak dinners. I know that they talk you into sitting down with them. But please, 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 regardless of who it is, get a second or even a third opinion before you go rolling all of your money over to somebody just because they're a nice person and they bought you dinner. That is no reason to trust your life savings to anyone. And I would just encourage you, please be careful. I mean, It baffles me that people will rush into that just because somebody's bought them a $50 steak dinner. They buy you a $50 steak dinner, you buy an annuity, and they make $6,000 in commission. Not a bad trade-off for them. Not so good. Not sure if it's so good for you. Bonuses on annuities. Let's tie that to annuities. The other thing we keep hearing about, now first of all, bonuses on annuities can be good depending on what you're using them for. But I got to tell you about this one. I've got somebody in I'll just say in the Bowling Green area doing this. This person is selling a bonus annuity. Listen to this, Aaron. The bonus right now is 13%. We represent this company. It's not a bad annuity, but what this person's not telling anybody is after the company pays the bonus of 13%, the company is charging almost 1% a year in fees every year for the next 13 years. So if that annuity doesn't grow, the fees are going to eat away the bonus they just gave you, so you're back to zero. So that really doesn't sound like a winner of a deal. So again, folks, what I would say, we've written about as many annuities as anybody in the country. If anybody offers you an annuity and it just seems too good to be true, please see us for a second opinion. Better yet, if you want to get our annuity decision guide for savers, that's absolutely free. You can go to TonyWalkerFinancial.com, go to downloads there in the search bar, and again, download the annuity decision guide for savers. This will really help educate you on the pros and cons of annuities. So watch out for those bonuses. They can be good. But again, before you plunk a bunch of money down in an annuity for somebody pitching a bonus, please see us before you commit to that. Okay. And then finally, the stock market. This comes up all the time. Tony, the market is so high. Should I just keep pouring money in the market? First of all, I don't know, and nobody else knows what's going to happen in this market. I will say this. In 2008, the market was at an all-time high. The people that I work with, many of which are getting ready to retire, my question is this: why do you want to keep risking your money in something that is so uncertain? And what happened in 2008, Aaron?
Big crash.
Big crash. Now, again, that doesn't mean it's going to crash now, but I have to ask you a question. First of all, do you have a retirement planning specialist? And do you have a written game plan to lay all this out so you know exactly what you're going to do next? And thirdly, why in the world would you want to take a lot of risk if you don't have to? And that's where we at Tony Walker Financial can help you get organized, think through how much risk you really want to take, make sure you have complete access to your money when you need it, and then obviously make sure through mailbox money you don't run out of it. So if you're sitting there right now and you're saying, Tony, I appreciate what you're sharing with me, and you know what, as we approach 2020, I think I do want to sit down with you or one of your staff and just go over things and kind of get ready for 2020. We would love the opportunity to do that. And best of all, to meet with me in person or by phone is absolutely free, no obligation. So do it today. Just log on to TonyWalkerFinancial.com. Click on that Let's Get Started. It's TonyWalkerFinancial.com. Well, speaking of goals and New Year's resolutions, next week we're actually going to talk about Tony's top tips. I'm surprised I got that out here and I practiced that. Tony's top tips for 2020. That's next week on the Worry-Free Retirement. But you remember, between now and then, if all else fails, you be worry-free.
If you got it, you don't need it. If you need it, you don't got it. You don't get it, shame on you. Funny, funny, funny what money can do.